staff where you'd consider it if you had the opportunity, and feel pretty lucky to have that opportunity, and I think they've grown since then, and but just a great friendship, relationship, I think, all around, on and off. It's and just good people. I enjoy coming to the rink, seeing them, having little conversations, all those types of things.
You said last year with the playoffs, but as far as this series, you hadn't seen this guy since 3 games before Christmas, so is that almost the same? It's just so long ago it doesn't matter.
There'll be a few things different, but obviously playoffs, there's a lot of things I tighten up, and commitment at certain times, and just atmospheres and buildings, in the games, it changes a little bit, but, watch them play and we'll have an understanding of what they're trying to do. So.
Yesterday, Pete said he would follow you anywhere.
I think that just goes back to our time in San Jose, but we've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed having them here. I think feelings are mutual. There's just, like I kind of said in that part, there's a great passion for hockey and coaching, and great people, and it makes it easy coming around.
Does it mean a little bit more to be on the back end of your career, still have him along this journey with you, trying to achieve the ultimate?
Yeah, we're all in that boat together. So it's definitely excited to be doing it together.
Hockey pause availability, or is that just insurance?
I would say it's probably a sign of availability, at least for game 1. And a little bit of insurance too, so that we've got guys around here, and so I think that's probably the best way I can put it.
Are you considering him as an option for game 1?
He's our 7th D, for game 1, and then we'll look at Hawk going forward after that.
What have you seen from him in the few games he's played for you this year?
Pooley? You know what? I actually had him. I had him for a handful of games when I was coaching in Vegas. I've seen him play, obviously, through his entire career and the different stops he's had, but I gained an appreciation for him, coaching him for the handful of games I had him in Vegas. And he can play at the NHL level. He's an NHL-sized body. He can move pucks. He's got, 200-plus games in the league, so he's not going to be overwhelmed by the moment. He's got good composure. So, he's got no problem sticking him in a game.
Just trying to get another Vegas connection going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unbelievable.
Pete, you guys had massive team expectations at the start of the year, and you guys embraced it. Again, I know that the goal is Stanley Cup, not regular season titles.
Yeah.
But is it gratifying to have gone through that whole year with all those expectations and met, maybe exceeded those?
Oh, for sure. I think, I've said before, I don't think you look back on a season and reflect until it's done, and probably appreciate, some of the accomplishments, because, you're all in on the one accomplishment everyone's looking to have, and that's the Stanley Cup and the one focus. But, I think the evolution of our group from coming back to training camp to, some of the ups and downs we had during the year, to the new people we added either through the trade deadline or Stankoven coming up. I think our group has kind of jumped over every hurdle that has been put in their path, and really found another level every time we've done that. And we played our best hockey here down the stretch, which is, I think something that's real important coming into the playoffs.
When you make that decision for who goes in on the fourth line, with Radek,
Yeah.
what goes into that? They're very talented players, but different skill sets.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You could make a case that any and all those guys should be in the lineup and playing. They're tough decisions. A lot of times it comes down to, if a guy has a face-off skill set, if a guy has a penalty kill skill set, those are boxes that sometimes separate you from other guys. And they all bring different things to the table, and the bottom line is we're going to need them all at different points if we hope to get where we're going.
Going back to the Vegas connection, what does it mean to have Misha here after he helped them win a
Yeah.
Stanley Cup last year?
Yeah, I think, it's not like Mish has any kind of state secrets. I think, Misha's advantage to our group is really in the energy he brings every day and his ability to work one-on-one with people and connect with players. Players gravitate towards him. He's got great knowledge of the game, and, he's got the same inside knowledge, of the Vegas Golden Knights that Steve Spott and I had, and he had the same of us, from last year's series against each other. I think, these teams know each other, these coaching staffs know each other, what each other's trying to accomplish. There's no secrets there. I think it's who can get to their game for the quickest for the longest period of time.
He came from off ice to on the bench.
Yeah.
When you were there. Did you have a role in that? And,
Yeah.
And how important was it for him to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, so I first met Mish and worked with him at the World Championships in 2015, and I was at the time I was still in San Jose, I believe. Trying to think. Anyway, we reconnected in Vegas, and actually Mish was in management part. He was running the analytics department, but he also, was running the skills department and all the return to play stuff. So during COVID, when they had all those rules that you're only allowed one-on-one or two-on-one or three players on the ice with one coach, Mish was running all that stuff, and he's outstanding in that department. And then we were going to the bubble, and we really had one spot left on the roster because you could only bring so many people into the bubble. And I made a case to bring him in just because of his value, the value I saw in him, both what he did on the ice individually with guys, because you had a big taxi squad in the bubble, but also, what I thought he could add to our coaching staff as an eye in the sky, and that was kind of the start of his integration into our staff.
We always ask about the mood of the players in the locker room, various points of the year, whether it's a big win or this or that.
Mhm.
What's the mood of the coaches room right now?
Yeah, well, I just think excited anticipation. I mean, this is what you play for all year. The regular season, really gets exhausting down the stretch, and this is really a second wind. You start looking forward to this, probably a month ago, and then you're just trying to get to this point, and then it's a second season, right? Everyone's starting from scratch. Everyone's got a chance. Half the teams in the league have gone home, so it's the best time of year.
Do you manage there, because when you play in playoffs, you're trying to bring yourself down?
Yeah.
Do you as a coaching staff have to play in that, or is it in the regular season you're trying to
Yeah.
bring yourself up?
Yeah, it's a great point. I think that absolutely is the case. I think, I'm always writing on my card composure, because I think in the playoffs, you're right, that the players go from here to here emotionally, their investment, everything, and they want it so bad that a lot of times your job is to keep the composure of the group, when the emotions are at the highest. So for sure, it's a little bit of a switch there from the dog days of the regular season, where you're, trying to pump them up.
It's time for revenge, It's a different season. We have different team. They are a different team, So we had the whole season was really good for us. So now it's time to go. And if you want to win Stanley Cup, you have to go through all opponents. So it doesn't matter who you get. We need to beat them and get to the next round.
You mentioned just being different teams. You haven't seen them since December. Does that change the approach at all, knowing that this is kind of a fresh face when you two look at each other in terms of this?
Yeah, we had some new guys, so we got together and we kept pushing and getting better every month. We get better, and before the playoffs, we were every game better and better, preparing for the playoffs. And I think we already played like the last month, like playoff mode. And we have to keep doing it because it'll be different level than we used to play in the regular season.
When people talk about playoffs, it seems like there's a lot of conversation of bottom six forwards or bottom six matchups. For you and your line, what's the potential impact that you guys could bring to a series like this?
Well, if we score a goal or something, it can make the difference. I think the top guys, they will play really good. It will be even. So like the fourth line, third line can decide the games. So that's why you need all four lines going.
What's the challenge against them? They're a big team and they're very deep.
Yeah, they have lots of experience. It's lots of same guys from last year, and we have some new addition to the team, good players. Lots of skills. So we expect long and tough series.
As a penalty killer, they have some big names over there. Do you look at that at all, or is it just every team has good power play players?
Obviously, all the teams, they have like at least one power play, which is like really, really skilled superstars on the power play. But in Vegas, there's the difference. They have both lines really good on PP, so they can do lots of damage. So we have to do a really good job because the special teams will decide as well.
Did you see? Like I say, did you see that stat on Pete against Vegas in the playoffs? That Vegas has been in the playoffs 6 times. He's been part of them all.
No, I didn't see the stat. No.
How ironic was it that they every year that Vegas has been in the playoffs, they've either had Pete on their bench or faced him.
Oh, really? I didn't know the stat, but yeah. I didn't know.
Does this feel like a special year? I mean, they all do, but it just seems like you guys have a really opportunity to.
Yeah, it feels really special. We end up second in the whole league, so we had a great season. But I think the chemistry is really good. All four lines, all 6D and defensemen are really good. But in playoffs, anyone like you've seen it in past, any team can beat any team. Like Florida got in the finals last year from wild card spot, I think. So you never know. So
home ice doesn't seem to matter that much in the Stanley Cup.
Exactly. Maybe the home advantage is a little advantage for you, but it doesn't make really difference.
Talked about the chemistry. How different does it feel going into this postseason than it did a year ago at this time when you guys got ready to go into it?
It doesn't feel really different, like maybe more because we know how special team is it. That's the only difference, like last year we had a really good team, but I feel like this year it's even better.